1.
Hey guys, welcome back to The Buzz, and you're here with your host Ashanti,
Aaron,
and your favorite host Candy.
Alright, so today it's all about understanding HIV and AIDS.
In today's episode, we will talk about the difference between HIV and AIDS.
And we'll talk about the symptoms, treatment, and how we can play our part in staying safe.
When last did you get tested for the virus, guys?
It's a loaded question.
There's no time right in. And dive right
Okay,
in.
you know.
How does song go? I'm about to dive in.
Yeah, so when last did you guys get tested for the virus, guys?
I did a full checkup in October.
Nice.
So that was my time. You know, you have to do everything.
Yeah, you know your status.
So
You already know.
I'm actually due one,
Same,
so
same.
it's around November, December. So
yeah. I mean, just do a full checkup, you know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Well, that's the
Not
plan.
just
That's the plan.
HIV and AIDS, but your full...
Last week,
the full
well,
spectrum.
this month is the dentist. So, you know.
Because y'all know. It's because money. Right. But it's good. You know, how important do you think it is for persons to get tested and stuff?
Very, very, very important. I think, you know, you should get tested before or even during a new, you know, interaction with a person who is not, or even someone you're familiar with, regularly, just to know where you're at. You know?
Well, I think that on a general perspective, we should want to know what's going on with our bodies, and if we know, then we're in a better position to, you know, if needs be, do better, you know, that type of vibes.
Yeah.
So I just think the importance is just should be there overall, but more specifically, you know, get tested, you know, you do your mammograms and you know, the different tests that you're supposed to do, you know, just to be sure, just to be safe, and if anything, you know.
I agree.
I mean, do you guys think if you're married or in a committed relationship, you still get tested?
How you mean?
Yeah.
When how the man's going nowadays?
I mean, the girls never get to know and start to school. Hot
people
girl
are
summer.
committed,
Yeah, I remember hot girl summer last year.
Either way, like, people are in committed
Wow.
relationships and still, you know, dabbling with other persons.
Very
So,
true. Very true.
I mean, sometimes, let's say you could be the faithful one, and then,
they're out there playing the field.
you know, they bring something to you. And, you know, sometimes it's necessary. Because, you know, they're not going to be out and tell you, oh, you know, I've been cheating. You know, unless it's like an open relationship, and then you can have the conversation about making sure that they get tested before they even have sex. Or, I mean, I can't even say like protection is like 100%, is not 100%, but still like, it's necessary. I think it's necessary.
Just do what you gotta do.
I mean, let's talk about the stigma surrounding the virus. I mean,
What is the stigma surrounding the virus?
a lot of people are sort of, you know, I don't think a lot of people understand it. A lot of people are afraid to get tested. But, you know, I don't know, like, I've never really heard people say that there's a stigma around it. I mean, people sort of understand it's like this life-changing virus that may or may not cause death, depending on, you know, how far it is in your life or how severe it is in your body. Because, you know, right now they've got drugs where people are surviving
and they look
years.
normal, like,
I mean,
you
look at
and I
Magic
now.
Johnson.
Yep.
I mean, Magic Johnson had AIDS before I was born, and look at him now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, for me, I mean, it's not facts, but you know, just I feel like everybody kind of don't care anymore. So even if yes, they do have the you know, it is out there and there's a possibility, because I'm pretty sure the number's still rising. But a lot of people are reckless and playing Russian roulette with their bodies, and you would hear men saying, rise, Lord, and things like this. But I've heard people,
But do you think though that perhaps pornography has a role to play?
I think
because if you really look at it, most of the time, it's raw.
It's mostly raw.
Yeah.
You know, so if that is the majority, and I'm quite sure there's a lot of people who watch porn.
Yeah.
So it has to have some type of influence.
I agree.
But I'm pretty sure that these people on porn, guys, I'm pretty sure they get tested before they do these things.
They probably, they get tested very often.
Yeah.
But still, I guess it's like, the whole process of it. If you're swapping body fluids,
well, I use it as an example. So if you're using pornography as an example, then you should do what they do, get tested, check up on yourself regularly.
And what's crazy is like, with the stigma, because there is a stigma, but then there is that they want to pretend like there's not a big elephant in the room. And then when the time comes or the conversation, let's say a woman, like a man or a woman or somebody asks them, I prefer you to get tested before we even do something, and they go crazy because it's like, oh my God, I don't want to know, I don't want to. It's like the fear behind going to find out, even if they probably don't have it. People are terrified to even find out if they do, so they rather like, you know what, let's just pretend.
But isn't that happen with most tests?
I mean, you know what? I don't.
Even like, you're sick, going to the doctor to find out if something's wrong. I think it's just a fear.
There's a fear of
it. Do you think the fear is tied to the fact that if you know you live a particular lifestyle, or you know that your partner may have lived a particular lifestyle,
I just think you just never know.
You know what I mean?
You just never know.
Let's just say two people who don't really have sex, like let's just say they probably had one or two partners in their life or whatnot, and then the person they get involved with is the same like them. You think they would have the same level of stigma as opposed to someone who's, a bit more experienced? Yeah, a bit more active experience.
That's kind of interesting now, because
the stigma or the fear?
I think both.
So you would think, okay, let's say a guy that he doesn't go around or have sex with random girls or whatever, and he more so Christian, and he have to be in a committed relationship. At the end of the day, I feel like they still have to do it, even if you feel like a woman is a good girl. You just don't know, because people,
you never know,
they just don't. Especially if they're living up to the good girl thing. The next thing you know, man end up with AIDS, and they even know that it's because the woman good. And most of the time as well, you hear women end up getting HIV/AIDS from their husbands and stuff, because they're good and they just so it's okay.
What would you do if you found out you were positive?
What could I do? You just have to try get the meds and survive. I mean, and it's weird. I'm weird like this. Like if something bad is happening to me, I'm strangely calm. So it's like I always ask myself, what can I do?
True.
And then you look at the most possible, what you can do to move forward. Because me a survivor, so me tend for I'm calm.
Exactly.
But if it happens, of course I'd feel shitty because my child and whatnot. And that's why it's very important to be on top of your ball, on top of that ball.
Before you slap it up, guys.
Wow. Yes, of course. I have people locked on already. I mean, I see this topic tonight. Somebody said yes, but porn workers have to be tested. Yeah, was watching a documentary about that. Not much people talking, but of course, guys, we appreciate when you guys come on and talk and share. Love y'all and y'all interaction. Have you ever known anybody that's been tested positive?
No.
I actually don't know anybody.
I think even you may even know someone, but they're never gonna be like, I've got HIV or AIDS.
Not that I know.
It's like the stigma. Obviously the first thing you think, or a person may
think,
they're
gonna judge you.
Yeah, you're gonna condemn them. You're like, oh, let me stay away. So
which is understandable, because that's what they do.
Yeah, it's I guess it is a sort of mentally.
Because I feel like if I touch your skin, I'm gonna get it.
But people do have experiences like that where they may be living in the same space with somebody, and then once they find out, then they don't want people touching their things. The
certain things.
That stigma.
You just can't do.
I mean, nowadays, I know they have meds where it allows you to sort of deal with it and prolong your life. You know, there's people who've been living with it, like Magic Johnson. I don't know, I'm 32, so Magic Johnson's had it for like over 30 plus years. He's like 60. You know what I mean? So
he looks fine.
He looks fine to me, and he's got like 5 kids after the fact. So
wait a minute, I don't even know if they're like positive, are they?
I don't think so.
No?
He's got a whole wife and everything.
Yeah, it's possible that they don't have to be.
You don't have to it's possible not to transmit it.
Interesting. I watched a documentary with a little girl that was living with HIV. She was born with it.
Yeah.
Well, we have somebody that will talk about all of this and give us all the details.
And how important do you guys think that this talk or us bringing this to awareness, since, you know, World AIDS Day is next week Tuesday?
I think it's very important. I mean, even though, like, you know, we've heard the stories of getting tested, what AIDS is, it's still good to remind yourself that there's a disease that is out there that, you know, can potentially change your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's definitely good to be aware of what's going on and, you know, educate yourself so that you don't get yourself in a bind.
Do you feel people in Antigua ignore it a lot?
You know what? I can remember when I was small, every time you turn on the TV, there was always AIDS commercials. Always AIDS commercials. Every time you turn on the TV on ABS.
And now?
And now it's like, yeah, okay, AIDS is around. And then you don't hear anything.
You probably see, like, in the newspaper, they say, like, they would list how it's increased or whatever, like, you see that. And then they'd be like, HIV is always on the rise. So that's the most I've seen.
But don't you think with the introduction or the popularity of social media, you know, that should be easy to find this information?
I think so. I agree.
Because if it is on the rise, then we should be seeing it everywhere.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You should see more about it.
Well, I mean, our next guest, the Cora, should be the one to tell us about all of this, how this goes.
Yeah, I'm interested.
And you can probably ask her that question as well, since you'll be the one doing the interview. I was just saying. Anyways, stay tuned, guys. We'll definitely be back, and we'll, take a short break.
A brand new car! Want a car?
Nine, you got it! In 2019, it was a megastore phenomenal year because Townhouse Megastore, the largest furniture and appliance store, had their mega promotion. They gave away
A new car!
Well, in 2020, we never ever thought we would have a mega pandemic, but Townhouse Megastore is bringing back their mega promotion and making it easier than ever for you to win
A new car!
Don't be caught off guard with high prices, poor quality, and fake sales. Save yourself a mega headache and shop at Townhouse Megastore, and you could drive away with
A new car!
You heard right. A brand new Suzuki vehicle compliments Townhouse Megastore. All you have to do is shop at Townhouse Megastore, and the more you shop, the more chances you have to win. Yahoo! So do yourself a favor. Don't shop till you drop. Shop till you drive. I mean, till you drive away with
A new car!
That's all there is to it, Dustin. That's all there is to it. A winner.
Gotta go shopping? You have two options. Option 1, you can stop what you're doing. Drive to the store, get stuck in traffic, struggle to find parking, spend time shopping, not find what you're looking for. Wait in line forever, lug heavy bags to your car, and get back home a couple of hours later. And now you're tired. Option 2, download Allmart. Easily browse stores. Order online. Select pickup or delivery. And done. Phew! Which are you choosing?
Welcome back. You are watching The Buzz. I am your favorite host, Candy, and from the Ministry of Health and the
Health, Wellness and the Environment.
and the Environment, Ms.
title.
Delcora Williams, and she is here to talk about AIDS and HIV. Before the break, we were discussing the stigma attached to AIDS and HIV. That there is actually a difference between the two. We were also encouraging our watchers and our viewers to get tested. Whether or not you're in a relationship, just stay on top of the ball, just get tested. All right, and before we get right into it, we're gonna thank our sponsors, ACT, Townhouse, Megastore, Allmart. They are promoting 39 days of free delivery until December 9th, guys. So check out Allmart and ACT, Townhouse, Megastore. Yeah. So, Miss Williams, let's talk about the difference between HIV and AIDS.
Okay. There is a vast difference between HIV and AIDS. For HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus, which is a virus that causes AIDS. But you can be HIV positive and don't have AIDS. Okay, because AIDS is acquired immune deficiency syndrome. So let me go a little bit more. With HIV, you can only tell a person is HIV positive if they have an HIV test. Okay? There's not an AIDS test. It's as you become ill because you're HIV positive is when you develop AIDS, which comes with signs and symptoms. HIV, minimal signs and symptoms. So usually you don't say, nowadays you don't say HIV and or AIDS. It's HIV and because they're two totally different disease.
Guys, you hear that? It's different. It's not the same thing.
No, then it's not the same thing.
All right, so we were so excited to get right into the topic. But before we go any further, tell us a little bit about yourself and your profession and what you do in the ministry.
Okay. My name is Delcora Williams, as you said prior. I am the AIDS Program Manager within the AIDS Secretariat, Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment. I am a nurse by training. I am a former sister of the maternity unit at Holton Hospital, and so I come with a wealth of experience in regards to nursing. Okay. Nice.
So, what do you think? Why do you think AIDS is one of those touchy topics?
HIV and AIDS. I think because it's a sexually transmitted infection mostly. Because you can get HIV from a different modes of transmission, okay? You can get it through sexual intercourse. A baby can get it from the mommy, whether through birth or through the mommy breastfeeding, not when she doesn't know that she's HIV positive, although in Antigua and Barbuda, all our pregnant women are tested to make sure that they do not transmit HIV to their baby. So we have been validated twice by WHO to have eliminated the transmission of mother-to-child transmission of HIV and AIDS, and you can get it through blood transfusion, which in Antigua that is not possible because all our bloods are tested for not only HIV, but it's also tested for syphilis and hepatitis and all those popular, transfusion, blood-bone conditions, and then you can get it through sexual intercourse. You understand? Now, the most uncontrolled part about HIV transmission is sexual intercourse because it has to do with us as human beings and the decision that we make in our life. You understand? Because sometimes we go into a relationship, we know nothing about the person, so we start out maybe using condoms, but by the third week we forget that we don't know much about that person and we start having unprotected sexual intercourse, because that is how it is passed on, through unprotected sexual intercourse. That is Antigua's main mode of transmission. Whether you have anal sex, oral sex, vaginal sex, as long as there's exchange of body fluid, you expose yourself to contracting HIV.
I see. With the pregnant mothers, how often do you come across a mother who is positive and probably doesn't know her status?
Usually we'll have like between 9 to maybe about 15 women in Antigua giving birth HIV positive yearly. Because some years we'll have like maybe 8 to 9, some years we'll have a lot, some years we'll have a small amount. So it's something that happens, and it happens very regularly. The only thing is that we run our EMTCC program in conjunction with Mount St. John, our district clinic. Every person that provide care, we expect them. The Ministry of Health make sure that our doctors, our nurses, everybody is on board in regards to making sure that any woman that is pregnant is tested for HIV. And so that program has been running and has been successful. So
I want to commend y'all for that. That's, excellent. I really like that. Do you think that there is enough education surrounding the virus and what it does to the body?
Education is continuous. Because as a child grows into a teenager and to an adult, you have to keep on making sure that the information is continuously given. You understand? Because we do mature. You understand? And so you have to keep your foot on the burner. A little, while you all were having discussion, I heard you all speaking about the fact that you used to see a lot of programs about HIV and AIDS. When you were growing up,
prevalent.
but it's not as prevalent as popular now, which is the truth. Before we used to have like Global Fund sponsoring of these PSAs and so on, and so there were a lot of persons, working to make sure that the message get out. But since about 2010, those kind of funding has stopped, and so it's more, national, and it's more, program-oriented persons that will continue to do free PSAs for in regards to HIV and AIDS. So you are quite correct. It's not advertised, or the PSAs are not run as frequently as we would like to see them.
That's sad though.
Yes,
Especially
it is.
since the
It
numbers
is.
continue to
It
go
is.
up.
Because the thing is, if you don't have somebody keeping our foot to the flame, reminding us that it's there. COVID is there. HIV hasn't gone anywhere. It's still there. You understand? So when we have lockdown, and everybody was, locked in, we still had our office open. We were giving out condoms, and persons know. So from this time we opened, because we used to open very early. You understand me? We are inundated with persons coming and asking for condoms, that we perfected the art of putting them in a bag, so that as soon as they come, nowadays people don't even ask for the condom at this point. That kind of a way. But we stayed open, and we made sure that persons were able to protect themselves while on the lockdown, because we do not want that at the end of the lockdown period, we had a problem with increased stats in regards to HIV.
On an annual basis, in terms of the testing numbers, do you think that they're increasing?
Yes. When I first joined the national program, we used to pull blood, and we used to do like maybe 30 persons a month. Now we're doing a few hundred, maybe about 3 to 400 persons a month, where we offer HIV rapid tests free of cost. The only thing we ask persons to do is that if they have ever had a test with us, make sure that you put up the card so that you can use it a few times. Sometimes you can have something like about 10 to 15 tests with the card that we have with free results. The reality is, government does not have a large amount of money for us to be discarding cards. And so we ask persons to always make sure they have that card. But there from that, if they do not have the card, then we ask for a replacement cost of $20, so they will understand it has a value. Because we have to print them, and it's ink.
Understood.
You understand me? Plus the hard card. So yes, the whole thing about I was
The increase,
I was
yeah.
listening to the conversation, and I must say, no, there's not an increase in the amount of persons who are diagnosed with HIV. Actually, Antigua peaked in 1988, in 2008, sorry, with 88 persons testing positive, and since that we have been going through a decline.
Nice.
We are now in the 50s to 60s persons testing a year.
So what you're doing is working, so continue.
Yes, but we would like to see it even. I always tell people when I do interviews is that I want to work myself out of a job. You know, I am hoping that before I retire in the next, I'm not telling you,
That you have nothing to do.
that I, like I spend my last couple of years just twiddling that kind of a way, because we have HIV under control. Nobody is nobody is actually becoming positive, and those persons that are positive already, they're in care. They are coming forward to get their ARVs, and so we have a control in regards to HIV because nobody else is testing positive, and that's like my dream come true. And so I just spend my last few years just.
Yeah, well, I hope your dreams come true.
Well, I hope so too.
Okay, so let's talk about the symptoms. What are the symptoms?
Okay, as I said, for HIV, there is no minimal symptoms.
Yeah.
Initially, they say when a person gets exposed to the virus, they get something like a flu-like symptoms, but that disappears after a few days. You understand? Because the body will try to fight it off. It's not successful, and so it accepts the virus and move on. Now, that person can remain asymptomatic for 8 to 10 years. So that person can be walking around with HIV, yes, and transmitting, and unless they do an HIV test, they don't know. You understand? As I said earlier on, for AIDS now, which is actually the signs and symptoms, that is where the signs and symptoms of the disease come. That is where you see the person start losing more than 1/3 of their body weight. That is where you see the person start having diarrhea. That is when you see their immune system become compromised, because they start if you cough on them too hard, they get sick. You understand? Because the immune system is no longer working, and so the person will contract all these infections. Anything chicken pox, they get it but worse. TB, a healthy person like me will just buck off TB. I get treated and I move on. But a person with HIV will become critically ill. You understand? They'll have pneumonia. They will have if they have cancer, it's a worse. It progressed so fast. So that is the thing about the two conditions. HIV, minimal signs and symptoms. Flu initially disappears, stays there, but the virus is inside your body, and that's where it's doing the damage.
Can somebody live with AIDS?
Yes, you can live with AIDS. There are actually 5 stages of HIV, and you go more and more symptomatic until you're ready to die, which is WHO stages. The thing is that yes, you can live with AIDS, but as you become more and more ill, after a while, you're ill to death, because the thing is that your viral load, the amount of the virus in your body, keeps increasing if you don't go on treatment. It will just keep on increasing, and as it increases, your CD4, which is the cells that fight off infections and so on, they will decrease. So after a while, it's the diseases that cause your death. You understand? It's not the word AIDS, because it's all kind of diseases. It's the diseases that will cause your death.
And with the treatment?
With the treatment, that's like an answer to a prayer. Because when I started nursing in 1984, we were just nursing patients to die, because at that time there were no ARVs. There were no antiretroviral drugs to prevent the person from becoming sick. Now we have persons that have lived 30, 40, you name it, years, being HIV positive.
Living
And
a
because
regular
they're
life.
on ARVs, they're still alive, they're still healthy, they've had families, just like being HIV positive don't stop these things. If you're HIV positive and you have informed your partner, and both of you are staying together, all we do is give you PrEP. PrEP. So you're positive, your partner gets PrEP, so that you don't pass on the disease to him or her. Then when you decide you're going to have a child, both of you will go on ARVs, antiretroviral drugs. You will take it every day because you don't want to skip anything so that you end up contracting the disease from your partner until you are pregnant. Then when you're pregnant, now your partner go back to using condoms if he wants to stop.
With the virus,
right.
the AVRs.
Stop not contracting, prevent himself from not contracting the disease. Then he can stay on the meds because there's Truvada that we can give you that you can take forever to prevent yourself from contracting it from your partner if you want to have unprotected sex. Okay? If you don't want to have unprotected, if you want to go back to using your condom, then that too is also an option.
Okay. What are some of the challenges in persons with identifying the persons with the virus?
What are some of the challenges?
Yeah. Okay. In terms of in terms of people coming in to get tested, what are some of the challenges that you have getting people in the door?
Okay. There's some persons that just walk in the door. They know where the AIDS Secretariat is. They make it a part of the yearly check to come and do a test, to have a test done. Most of our persons are like that. You understand? Then there's a next set that is sent because some persons out there, they're very careful. And as they go into new relationships, they ask their partner to get tested. Usually for those persons, we ask that both of them come and get tested together. You understand? The only time, and we accommodate, some persons might come with two partners, and none of the partners know that we are very accommodating. You understand? Because we are required to be very confidential. You understand me? Everybody always asks us, when we kind of say who have HIV, that is not our job.
It's not the business
Our job
either.
is prevention. You understand? And that is a service that we can offer, is that we can help you to know your HIV status. We can help you to understand what behavior you need to put in place to prevent yourself from contracting HIV. Our job is not to tell you who is HIV positive. You understand? So we don't really have a challenge per se. It's the person knowing that they're at risk for HIV and coming in to access the service. I think that is the biggest challenge, because some of us know we are outside doing what we like and will not acknowledge that we're at risk for contracting. Let me tell you, as long as you engage in sex, whether it's one person you have, two person, 20,
Get tested.
you get tested. You understand me? You protect yourself, you protect your partner. Because people always think there's a big difference between whether I have 20 men or one. You can still contract HIV as long as the one person that you engage in sexual intercourse with is HIV positive. Wherein I can have 20 persons, but I protect myself and I do not contract HIV.
All right. We are speaking with the program manager, Miss Delcora Williams from the AIDS Secretariat. We are going to take a break. Stay tuned to The Buzz. We'll be right back.
A brand new car. Want a car?
In 2019, it was a megastore phenomenal year because Townhouse Megastore, the largest furniture and appliance store, had their mega promotion. They gave away
A new car!
well, in 2020, we never ever thought we would have a mega pandemic, but Townhouse Megastore is bringing back their mega promotion and making it easier than ever for you to win
A new car!
Don't be caught off guard with high prices, poor quality, and fake sales. Save yourself a mega headache and shop at Townhouse Megastore, and you could drive away with
A new car!
You heard right. A brand new Suzuki vehicle compliments Townhouse Megastore. All you have to do is shop at Townhouse Megastore, and the more you shop, the more chances you have to win. Yahoo! So do yourself a favor. Don't shop till you drop. Shop till you drive. I mean, till you drive away with
A new car!
That's all there is to it, Dusty. That's all there is to it.
4, 3, 1.
Hi, I'm Candace. If you want to learn more about our cast and crew, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
The Buzz Hot Button Issues is sponsored by Nigel's Restaurant.
Welcome back to The Buzz. You're chatting with Candy, and Candy is chatting with Miss Delcora Williams. All right, so we have some questions for you on the live. Where does it come from? How does it develop? And what is the root cause of it? That's from Aaron.
Well, that's a question that has been asked for since it came on the scene. I remember first they used to say it came from this monkey in Africa, and people eat the meat, and because they ate it raw, it's whatever. Then they said it started in some bathhouses in California, where the guys used to engage some pilot that came from Africa that ate the meat came and had sex in the bathhouse. Nobody knows exactly where nobody knows exactly where it came from. It's just like COVID right now. You understand? They claim that it was in the market. Well, it's the same thing with HIV. The specific area that it started, nobody knows for certain. You understand? The thing is, though, is that what we have to do, just like COVID, is to try to prevent ourselves from contracting it.
Agreed. So Marcella is asking, which gender is affected more by the virus on island?
Okay, it's all males. The males have always been leading in regards to infection.
Shanti, stop rolling your eyes.
But our females are coming closer to the males.
Up.
Now the thing is, I wouldn't say they're catching up. Let me tell you why I wouldn't say. A woman gets more opportunities, has the test because of who she is. She carries the baby. So in actual fact, more females get tested than males.
Because you're testing all.
Because they get pregnant. You understand? And with pregnancy, you have to get tested twice for HIV. So sometimes if you don't, when we tested the first time, you might be negative. When we tested the second time, you're HIV positive. Because you're going with the HIV positive man who has never gotten tested. You understand? So our testing data will show you a percentage of women are getting tested. You understand?
Understood.
But not all males. All males, as you know, you have to just drag them to the doctor and drag them to everything.
Some little punks, sometimes.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
They're scared of everything.
Guys, go get tested.
Exactly. We need our males to understand that they are the ones that are carrying the
Look
HIV
in the camera
home.
and tell them.
They are the ones that are carrying the HIV home to their spouse, to their girlfriend, to whoever. So they need to get an HIV test. It's important.
Get tested,
Get
guys.
tested,
Get
guys.
tested.
Yes.
All right. So Aaron asked, can you improve your immune system to reduce your risk of is that AIDS? I think he probably meant
Okay.
AIDS.
As long as they understand that there's a difference.
Yes.
Good. So you're HIV positive. You, as long as you're HIV positive, you're required to take care of yourself. So there are things that we advise you to do, like take your vitamins, eat properly, try as much as possible, eat a lot of vegetables, try as much, anything that boosts your immune system, like vitamin C, are immune boosters, vitamin D, are immune boosters. So these things we encourage our patients to eat. We also tell them to avoid crowds. You understand? Because you don't know who have what. And because your immune system is already trying to fight off the virus that is living inside of you. We don't want you to put and put. You know, you're already trying to fight off that, and then you go in a crowd where somebody have TB. Or somebody have COVID.
Put yourself at
you
risk.
put it, or pneumonia, or something that you can contract. Simple chicken pox will embarrass your immune system. And so you try to avoid these kinds of things. You understand me? So you eat well, you rest well, you make sure you eat a lot of vitamin, things that are rich in vitamins, like your vegetables, your fruits, and so on, that are rich in vitamin C and so on. And you make sure, as I said, that you protect yourself from any sexually transmitted infection, because your immune system is already compromised. So any type of infection, whether an STI, like a syphilis, gonorrhea, whatever, will embarrass your immune system, because it has to fight it off. You understand? And that is one of the reasons why we encourage our HIV positive persons to wear a condom, because you don't want them to get another infection.
Okay. Marcella says the virus isn't taboo anymore. So I believe that the information is everywhere and very easy to locate once you want to be educated.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for that, Marcella. Oh, and Marcella has a question. I've been using the services of the AIDS Secretariat for years. Now I vouch for your professionalism. However, Antigua is very small and we all know that. What assurance can you give a new client who is skeptical about using your services?
Well, as I said, I usually tell persons, look, if you want to know if we're any good, tell us who all have HIV that we have told.
Valid point.
You understand? Because if we were out there saying who have HIV, calling person's name, by now the AIDS Secretariat would have been closed down, because somebody's going to say, oh, you hear that girl say, Jackie have HIV, or in a no. You understand me? And we have had, in Antigua there is 1,001 persons who are right now living with HIV. You understand? Right now, we're trying to, I must tell you, right now I don't like using data, because we're going through the process of validating all our persons who have tested HIV positive, trying to clean our records, because we want to go for another award of our 1990 goals. So we have to make sure that our record is as clean as possible. And so over the next couple of months to the year, you will, to next year, later next year, you will hear us that we say we might have changed the data, because right now epidemiologists, everybody's working on that. We have been to like the courthouse and so on, trying to see who has died and things like that. But right now, according to our data, we have 1,001 person living with HIV, and you don't know who they are, and that tells you the type of job that we are doing as a national AIDS program, to make sure that people understand that we are a very confidential agency. We're not out there giving out information unless we're giving it in an accumulated form. There is no name, neither for to fill a prescription, nothing. There is no name. Everything is coded.
Yes, you heard that, Marcella. She also had a follow-up question. What age group is more affected?
Okay, it's our 34 to 44 age group, 45 age group. But what has been a little worrying for us nowadays is that we're seeing some of our older folks coming down with HIV. And sometimes we think that maybe as they get older, they realize, okay, I can't have I'm not going to get pregnant. And it's my time to show that I'm young and still attractive, and forget that HIV is out there. And when they go now to do maybe a medical procedure or to get a checkup, and the doctor says, okay, let's just make sure that everything is fine, then they get a positive result. So we see that age group, we're seeing a little increase in that older age group. So as you said, World AIDS Day is coming up, and so we decided to focus that week on persons 50 and over, encouraging them to have an HIV test, because we know that increase in that particular age group.
They really say life begins when you reach up, so.
Yeah, because at the time you think you can't get pregnant.
Just free up.
So no condoms, no nothing, and enjoying sex. Not realizing there are other challenges that come with that.
I mean, I look forward for just,
No, you can't do that. You can't do that unless if you decide you're going to be, I forgot what they call that lady, that Mrs. Jones. If you think you're going to be Mrs. Jones, make sure Mr. Jones get tested before you go. Because the thing is, especially this intergenerational sex, where an older person is going to go with a young person who is still sexually active. You understand me? Where the older person might only be having like one a week or one a month. You understand? But they're now moving from a safe age group to an thing. Unsafe age group.
That's very interesting. Aaron is asking, what about the gentleman that was cured a few years ago? Do you know anything about that?
Everybody heard about it, because it's usually, let me tell you something, which up to now I don't know why the world doesn't realize it. Every World AIDS Day, they're going to give you some fantastic story, some fantastic, because what they do around that time is decide who gets the money for their research. So if you can prove that your research is best, your thing is best, then that is what the money is going to go behind.
Just a bidding.
Yeah, it's you advertise you get to advertise your research, and then they will put money behind of that. They'll say, okay, that worked. So a few years ago, they had that a baby was cured. You understand? I think it was last year, they said the baby's not cured, the baby's still HIV positive. You understand? If they get a cure for HIV, everybody will know and everybody will be cured. When you talk about somebody like Magic Johnson, I'm sure if right now they say this is the cure for AIDS, he will be the first person in the line because he has the money to do it. But there's no cure.
Aaron, you heard?
Sorry.
Can you get false positives? But I think you answered that already.
Yes, you can. But let me tell you something. With Antigua, if you do an HIV test, and let's say do it in the National AIDS Program, every positive result that we get, we have to send it to Mount St. John to validate. You understand? So when you get your result, when you get your rapid test done and it's positive, that is sent there. They will recheck everything that we did. We test the blood and give a result. And that is the result that we have to go with. So don't think that you walk into the AIDS Secretariat and we tell you that you're HIV positive and that was that. We tell you straight up, okay, you have tested positive. We will not give you a card. We wouldn't give you anything. What we will require you to do is to come back in a week time. During that week, the results will go, the sample will go to Mount St. John. They will check it and they will get it back to us. If they get it back to us, because we have treat all, and we have, we decide that everybody that tests positive, we offer them care and treatment, because that is also located in the government system. You understand? And so, we don't leave any room for a false test.
Okay. What determines the treatment outcome of each case?
If the person is adherent. that will determine what the outcome is.
To your advice?
I would advise everybody who tests positive for HIV to go into care and treatment. Because the more quickly, if you go into it right away, it lowers the amount of the virus, the HIV virus, in your blood, and so it does minimal damage to you, and that is how the person will live for 30 and 40 years, and old age will kill them. You understand? Because so long as you can keep the virus under control, then you will not become ill. You will not have all them. I hear y'all talking about touching skin and all kind of thing. Yes, you can get HIV from touching skin, but nowadays my HIV positive patients have beautiful skin because it's a dermatologist that is our clinical care coordinator. You understand? So you can't look at a person and say, oh, she looks like she has HIV anymore, unless that person is not in care.
Okay. Can you tell us why there hasn't been a vaccine or cure for the viruses yet?
Because it's a virus. Just like COVID, that everybody's running trying to find a vaccine. It's the same thing with HIV. There are persons that have been working on it for icons and years since the onset of that disease, trying to find a vaccine that will prevent somebody from contracting HIV, and they have not had any luck. You understand me? Now they're hoping that the vaccine that they're going to give you for COVID, that it works. But most of the time, those diseases, they change. So it might work for the next 6 months, and then after that, you have to do a next flu vaccine, because the flu vaccine they're looking for. You understand me? Because these viruses change ever so often.
That
you find
includes the AIDS virus and the HIV.
That is why they have not been able to, because they mutate. They keep mutating, so you can't. When a virus mutates, you can't make an antigen against them, and that's why they're viruses, because they're very difficult to cure. You can prevent them, but you can't cure them.
Okay, so we are going to take a short break, and then we'll come right back and discuss some more about World AIDS Day and the activities for this year.
Okay.
A brand new car! Want a car?
9, you got it!
In 2019, it was a megastore phenomenal year because Townhouse Megastore, the largest furniture and appliance store, had their mega promotion. They gave away
A new car!
Well, in 2020, we never ever thought we would have a mega pandemic, but Townhouse Megastore is bringing back their mega promotion and making it easier than ever for you to win
A new car!
Don't be caught off guard with high prices, poor quality, and fake sales. Save yourself a mega headache and shop at Townhouse Megastore, and you could drive away with
A new car!
You heard right. A brand new Suzuki vehicle compliments Townhouse Megastore. All you have to do is shop at Townhouse Megastore, and the more you shop, the more chances you have to win.
Yahoo!
So do yourself a favor. Don't shop till you drop. Shop till you drive. I mean, till you drive away with
A new car!
That's all there is to it, Dustin.
3, 1.
Hi, I'm Candace. If you want to learn more about our cast and crew, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
The Buzz Hot Button Issues is sponsored by Nigel's Restaurant.
Gotta go shopping? You have two options. Option 1, you can stop what you're doing. Drive to the store, get stuck in traffic, struggle to find parking, spend time shopping, not find what you're looking for. Wait in line forever, lug heavy bags to your car, and get back home a couple of hours later. And now you're tired. Option 2, download Allmart. Easily browse stores. Order online. Select pickup or delivery. And done. Phew! Which are you choosing?
Welcome back. You are watching The Buzz, and we are still talking with Miss Williams from the AIDS Secretariat. All right, so let's talk about the treatment for the virus, what are the treatment options?
Okay. In Antigua, there are a few things. Let me see. HIV care is available from any healthcare professional that is a medical officer and that is trained in HIV care and treatment. Okay? So you can access care and treatment either in the private sector or in the public sector. In the public sector, we offer it at the Mount St. John Medical Center in the outpatient clinic. So if you want to access it in the public sector, you just have to call the National AIDS Program and we will get you through to getting care in our HIV clinic that is offered by the government of Antigua and Barbuda. If you want to access privately, then you call a doctor that is trained in HIV care and treatment, and you can access it, pay your way, as they will say. Now the thing is that ARVs, though, the antiretrovirals, the tablets is what we offer in the government offers free of cost. There are injections that you can get, but because it's more costly,
then I will come.
Yes. But we as the OECS, we go as a block to purchase these ARV tablets, and those are what are given free of cost to anybody who tests positive in the nation of Antigua and Barbuda. Okay? Whether you're Antiguan or citizen, whether you're a citizen or you're a visitor or whatever, as long as you have an HIV test that you can prove that you're HIV positive, care and treatment is given. Because the reality is that same person is going to go out there and they're going to have sex with a citizen. You understand me? So you treat everybody. You treat all to ensure that it controls the transmission of the HIV virus.
Awesome, awesome. So let's talk about the exciting activities that we're going to have planned for World AIDS Day.
Okay. As you know, World AIDS Day is the 1st of December. And so it's celebrated the 1st of December. But what we do is that we try to have at least a few weeks of HIV awareness. And so even though all COVID protocols will be followed, as I said, we're offering, like next week, we're offering all persons 50 and above the opportunity to get tested. Yes, we'll test you any age you come, but our focus is on 50 plus.
50 and over.
Please, all the persons out there, you are at risk for HIV as long as you're having sex. It could be once every year. That once every year person might be HIV positive. So we encourage you to have a test done.
Get tested.
On the 28th, we have in a church service at the Bible Speak Seventh-day Adventist Church at Creekside. The service day goes from 10 until 11:30, and so our minister will be the one speaking there. He will be doing the World AIDS Day speech. It's the theme for this year is Global Solidarity, Shared Responsibility, which means we're all supposed to be sharing in the, assisting in the response. And so he will speak on that theme at the Bible Speak Seventh-day Adventist Church on Saturday.
I like that theme. Say that theme again.
Global Solidarity, Shared Responsibility.
Shared Responsibility. You hearing?
Right.
Okay.
Right? So that will be on Saturday coming, which will kick off the activities for the week. On the same Saturday, we'll be working with Rotaract, and they'll be offering HIV testing at the Rotaract Club under the theme Ending AIDS Community by Community. That's their theme. And so we'll be doing some HIV awareness, prevention, and free testing at the Sundown House on Factory Road. That is on Saturday, and that will commence at 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Then on Monday the 30th, we'll have the launch of World AIDS Day events, where we'll be like on radio, TV, the whole
awareness.
Yes, making sure that everybody's aware of what HIV is and the fact that we have care and treatment. Then on the 1st, we'll have our it's a message by the Minister of Health. Honorable Sir Malwin Joseph will be the one that will do the World AIDS Day message. Then we will have some, the usual outreach. And on the 1st, we also have our red ribbon and sale, and we also have a cake sale.
So where do you get the ribbon from the
AIDS Secretariat.
Tell us where the AIDS Secretariat is.
The AIDS Secretariat
we don't know.
Is located on the corner of Long and Temple Street. We're right in the old Caribbean Alliance building, next to Anglican Church, on the opposite side of Telephone Exchange. So I'm telling you exactly where you can find it.
And it's free.
It's free.
And confidential.
Yes. Okay? So we encourage everybody to come in, get your test done. Also come and support our cake sale. What we do, we raise funds for our outreach, because sometimes we have to buy like all of the tables, our chairs, and so on. So every year we try to have a project that we ask persons to
buy the ribbons too.
And buy the ribbons too.
Yes.
You understand? Because I think it was last year we needed a tent, and PIC Insurance, they came forward and gave us that. So it's very so I just love to say thank you to them too. And
that's fine. Shameless plug.
Yes, sure. And so these agencies have always helped us. Scotiabank, oh my, I miss them. They have always been there with us in the fight and response to HIV. Yes, and so on Wednesday we continue our HIV prevention with with different sessions in front of our office to highlight what we offer. On Thursday we'll have a media day, all media houses. On Friday we'll have a campaign, HIV campaign at Judgment Square on Market Street, so that persons can come and get information, and plus we give them directions to the AIDS Secretary to get an HIV test.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know how it is. So we never lose that kind of opportunity. So that is on the 4th. On the 7th, which is the Monday, we continue to HIV test, because I tell you, it's about older persons getting tested. So that day, especially, we want
focus on the 50 and over.
The 50 and over, right? On the 10th is Human Rights Day, and so you all were talking about stigma and discrimination earlier on. So the same thing still applies. We continue to talk about that. We continue to make sure that the public understands that a person has the right to get treatment. They have the right to yes, I'm HIV positive. That should not.
But that doesn't stop
you. Should not stop me from getting treatment and from working and from having a family, because it's part of my human rights, from worshiping with other persons and so on. So we focus on human rights on the 10th of December. Then on the 12th, we having a Spanish fiesta. Yes, in Lower Otter's Community Center, Joseph Lane, where we have 2 Spanish testers, so they'll be the focus for that period, where they'll be doing education, testing, everything.
In Spanish?
In Spanish. Because, and I want everybody to know that we have Spanish-speaking persons in our office too. 2 Spanish counselors and testers. So even if you speak Spanish, come.
No excuse. Come.
Right.
All right.
Okay, and on the 23rd, we actually doing a fundraiser. As I said, we do fundraising at that time. Once a year, we do everything, because we're not coming back to you again. You understand? So we are having a draw of the World AIDS Day raffle, and we have special prizes like massage, prosperity, and
going up.
To make sure that you support. You assist
Good
in the
prize.
HIV response.
Yes.
Everybody can contribute to make a...
Yeah, but I did notice that particular theme, based on your week of activities, that it's focused on getting the word out there.
Yes.
Spreading the message, letting people know what you're doing, that it's available, that it's there right.
Right.
to get tested and to be treated.
And by the way, it's your right to work. So don't make nobody say because I'm HIV positive I can't work.
Yeah,
no, it's your right.
I've heard
for
that.
employment.
Okay. So tell us again about the raffle, the details about the raffle.
So the raffle will be drawn on the 23rd of December. So right now we're selling tickets. Come and get your tickets so that you can win all those various prizes. And we have very good prizes.
Yes.
You know?
Very good prizes.
Very, very good prizes.
Support a worthy cause.
Yes. Okay, so it's $10 for the ticket, and they're being sold by all the staff of the National AIDS program. So you can either stop at the, we're having a big ticket sale tomorrow, so you can come and purchase your raffle tickets. We're focusing on that.
And get tested one time.
Get tested one time. We also have a table with HIV awareness things that you can purchase at very cheap prices.
See, support a worthy cause.
Yes.
So if is there like a volunteer program for persons who, let's say, want to help out with counseling and supporting people with HIV?
Not really. Let me tell you about the National AIDS program. If we're having like a carnival event, then yes, we accept everybody, which we normally do. We tell them what they're going to do, like the tape, we set up a tent and you educate the public in regard. They also go into the stands and give out condoms and talk to people. You understand? Because we do a lot of prevention carnival. Yes, we'll accept volunteers. But not on the days that we are doing our testing, the in-office things. No, we do not allow visitors
because of confidentiality.
Because of issues of confidentiality. You understand me? So we're not a person. We have been asked to train to make people come there for their training and so on. We refuse because we do not want to take the chance that anybody information goes out. We have certain ethical things that we follow. Like for example, if my family come to test, you can't test the family. If your neighbor come to test, you cannot say you saw your neighbor there. It's all that can mean that you're going to lose your job. So my staff already knows that. You understand me? And that is how we keep our confidentiality in the office. So we do not allow people into our office. But if it's carnival, usually during the carnival period, we stop testing. Okay? We stop everything that has to do with in-office activities. And we work in the night for all the shows until the shows are finished. So somebody can volunteer during that period.
Yeah. So if you want to volunteer, Carnival is the time to do it.
Yes.
Right. So any last words for our viewers?
Personally, as I say, everybody is responsible for remaining HIV negative. Okay? You cannot look at somebody and know whether or not they're HIV positive or not. So I would encourage everybody out here to get tested, know their HIV status. If they start a new relationship, get everybody in that new relationship tested. Remember, if you have a test today, it doesn't say what you did last night. So not because your partner tests negative, you're going to go and have unprotected sex with that person. That person could have been exposed a month before, and that result will not show up in your test. Only 3 to 6 months show up in that test. And so even though your partner gets an HIV test, it's not time to stop having protected sex. It is not time to say, okay, I'm going to jump on it without questioning it. No. It is time for you to also decide whether or not that person is trustworthy for you to trust them with your life. Because you cannot tell if the person is just going through the window period and will test positive when they come for the 6 months follow-up. You understand? Because you test initially, because of that window period, we bring you back in 6 months to test again. And then we tell you, okay, test as part of your yearly checkup. You understand me? But as I said, not because they get that first initial HIV test negative means they're not HIV positive.
It's not a green light.
Yes, it's not the green light. So please know your status and then do everything to remain HIV negative.
You heard that, guys. Get tested. We just want to thank you, Miss Williams, for joining us tonight. It was a lot of information, useful and informative information. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with us. And we will be coming right back with Aaron and Ashanti. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
2019, it was a megastore phenomenal year because Townhouse Megastore, the largest furniture and appliance store, had their mega promotion. They gave away
A new car!
Well, in 2020, we never ever thought we would have a mega pandemic, but Townhouse Megastore is bringing back their mega promotion and making it easier than ever for you to win
A new car!
Don't be caught off guard with high prices, poor quality, and fake sales. Save yourself a mega headache and shop at Townhouse Megastore, and you could drive away with
A new car!
You heard right. A brand new Suzuki vehicle compliments Townhouse Megastore. All you have to do is shop at Townhouse Megastore, and the more you shop, the more chances you have to win. Yahoo! So do yourself a favor. Don't shop till you drop. Shop till you drive. I mean, till you drive away with
A new car!
That's all there is to it, Dusty. That's all there is to it. A winner.
Gotta go shopping? You have two options. Option 1, you can stop what you're doing. Drive to the store, get stuck in traffic, struggle to find parking, spend time shopping, not find what you're looking for. Wait in line forever, lug heavy bags to your car, and get back home a couple of hours later. And now you're tired. Option 2, download Allmart. Easily browse stores. Order online. Select pickup or delivery. And done. Phew! Which are you choosing?
On November 1, 1981, 39 years ago, Surveyor Byrd Sr. led Antigua and Barbuda to independence. On November 1, 2020, Allmart brought 39 days of free delivery to all the people of Antigua and Barbuda.
Wait, what about tourists? What about medical students? What about me?
You know here, everybody in Antigua, their mother, father, auntie, granny, and picnic.
Download the Allmart app or visit allmartplace.com today to enjoy 39 days of free same-day island-wide delivery from your favorite groceries, retail stores, and local businesses.
And welcome back, guys, to The Buzz in here with Aaron,
Shanti, and Candy.
So that was a really good interview, man. Like, real informative. What did you guys take from it?
I really got the nitty-gritty and what's the difference between AIDS and HIV. Also, you know, most of the facts about the man. No, you tell me. And I mean, even about the treatment and stuff, and you know, you could still live with it basically, and what exactly it does to you. And it's not just okay like a virus in your body, but the fact that the immune system is just completely attacked, and you know, you just pretty much picking up everything. Can you imagine how it is after COVID? Can you imagine what people with AIDS going through with COVID right now? Like if they get COVID,
God forbid.
So they have to be really, really careful.
Yeah.
They're one of those people that are, what's the word that they use for COVID? Vulnerable.
Oh.
Vulnerable.
Yeah,
indeed.
They would.
Underlying health conditions. Remember that strict word.
But what I found impressive was the confidentiality and what they do, what they put into keeping it that way.
Yeah.
I think that was big because that as well contributes to the stigma that is attached to it.
Yeah.
So she did make a valid point that you don't know who has HIV or AIDS.
Yeah.
And the fact that you don't, it speaks to the fact that they are confidential. So
yeah, I've
that was
used
reassuring.
them. I've used them for a couple of years, well, until I started doing my own personal checkups and stuff with the doctors itself. But yeah, you go in. I don't even think you don't put your name on either, and they ask you a few questions and stuff before you go in, and they prick your finger, and it's like looks like a little pregnancy test thingy, and then boom.
You know, right then and there.
Yeah,
That's
they tell you right
that's
there.
why.
It's quick and easy.
And just to remind the viewers, if they want to go and get tested from the AIDS Secretariat, where can they go?
Where Caribbean Alliance used to be. Okay, for the people of them that don't really know direction. Okay, so let's say you're coming up that street right there by Seagull. So, okay, let's say we're going down High Street by Deluxe, or the old police, the High Court, where the court used to be. You make the right, and instead of the side where the telephone,
opposite telephone
the
exchange.
booths and stuff, it's on the other side. It's right at the corner, and it's pretty tinted out, like dark. You can't see anything inside there. So, I guess that adds to
Secrecy, guys.
right? It adds to the confidentiality.
Awesome.
I was actually shocked about like the age group.
The
I was expecting like young,
that
the reckless maybe.
I kind of mess with my dreams, man.
Girl, buddy. Look, I said it messed with her dreams.
You
Wait, say what? Dash on me.
You didn't even know how we made a plan.
Yo, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I mean, you could just have a hysterectomy and done. Like you don't have to have any more
No,
kids.
just
That's
strap it
a
up,
problem.
man. Just strap
take
up.
it out and then a while out. Right? That's what you want.
I mean, I don't think that's how it works, guys.
I mean,
I still get it if it's there to be gotten.
yes, it is. Okay, unless you do like testing and then
Strap it up before you smack it up, guys.
But yeah, like
Simple as that.
who's gonna talk about the promotions?
Ashanti is.
Aaron's
They
doing the
already called your
promotions.
name, so you're already there.
Okay, so like, we're gonna
We'll
do it
both
together.
do it. All right.
We do it together.
I'll start it off.
I won't hold your hand though.
Okay.
But
that's
we'll do
fine.
it together.
Townhouse is still doing their Shop to Your Drive. Every purchase you do gives you a opportunity to win a brand new Suzuki
Swift.
The
It's
new
outside.
ones.
It's outside.
It's outside in their lot.
It's pretty sexy.
Walmart's still doing their 39 days of free delivery until December 9th. Well, it's less than 39 days now, but you know, you have
December 9th.
You have another week before
Is it a
that.
week?
That's about a week. Next week.
Next week? Oh my God.
Yeah.
The month is done already.
Or is it the week after? So
It's the
basically,
week
you
after.
have 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
2 weeks left, guys, until you can get the free delivery from Walmart.
Okay, I'll do the. How do you get this one? You win. Affordable Christmas arrivals and specials starting December 1st. Follow his page on social media to stay informed about the deals and products. And also, Nigel's Restaurants presents Black Friday seafood special tomorrow for only $60.
And where is Nigel Seafood for those who
It
want
is
to
by Anchorage
Anchorage
Road.
guys.
After First Choice.
$60.
$60.
Buzz we have our canned food and toiletries drive.
Yes.
So we're collecting, canned
Canned
foods
food
and
and
toiletries.
So if y'all got that canned beans, the canned soup,
Anything.
corned beef,
We're going to donate
toothpaste,
it.
toothbrush.
Contact any one of us or Leon or, just
hit us up on the page. Like,
Yeah.
that
Social media,
works.
man. You got us on the gram, get us on Facebook. Hit us
Facebook,
up.
The Buzz, Hot Button Issues,
Yeah.
Instagram, The Buzz TV Show, 3Zs. Hit us up, guys.
All right, so highlights of the week.
Highlight of the week.
I guess I'll start because
Get it.
this is my second week in business.
Skirt.
It's been amazing.
Skirt.
I'm drained, but it has been amazing. And I've been sharing my gratitude for even the new faces that I see, and also just the fact that I have the stress that I wanted, where I have an empty fridge, no cakes.
Nice.
So now I'm stressed. We're trying to keep up with the people.
You deserve an award. Pop some champagne after the show. Don't worry.
I do deserve an award. I need a foot massage or something. But yeah, we'll settle for that.
Too far there, you know.
Yeah. What about you?
Me, highlight of the week.
You went back to work yet?
Yeah, I've been back to work for about. This is my second week, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think I can't remember. Time flies when you're having fun.
It's end of terms, so
you're happy.
I don't sleep good.
We can see that.
Yeah, you can see you're hanging there, man. You're hanging.
So I'm hanging in there, guys.
It will be rewarding. I hope. Just don't fall asleep.
That's what they keep telling me.
Yeah. And of course, remember, it's all about staying healthy. To the viewers, get tested. It's really not as scary as you think. I mean, might as well just get it over with and done.
Yeah, it's better to know what's going on.
Yeah. And of course, thanking our sponsors. Aaron.
ACT, Allmart.
Townhouse Mega Store.
Again for the lovely set.
Yeah.
Nigel's Catering. Nigel's Restaurant on Anchorage Road.
Catering.
Sweet Chills in Seaview Farm on the main road. And on behalf of our technicians and producers
and the host.
And the host.
Of course, us.
Of course.
Of course, you can't forget us.
See you guys next week.
Thank you for tuning into The Buzz. Next week, Thursday, 8:30 p.m.
Boom.
We'll be right here.
Bye.
Yo, where does that come from? Like, I've been hearing women say that. What is this? What does that come from? Like, what is it?